Good morning, everybody. This is Brian Fritz, and you're watching Network 126. It is currently 5:11 a.m., July 4th, 2020. And unfortunately, I have some heartbreaking news here to report to you guys. This is only one of about 3 or 4 articles that I have pulled up here regarding this subject. This is from CNBC. Coronavirus crisis creates, quote, perfect storm for suicide risk as job losses soar and people are isolated at home. This came out May 12th, 2020. And it goes on here to say, as millions of Americans lose their jobs and economists predict a slow recovery, mental health professionals warn that the prolonged financial and personal stress caused by the COVID-19 pandemic increases the risk of suicide, especially in people already grappling with depression and anxiety. For weeks, Americans have been confined to their homes as states across the U.S. have implemented some form of stay-at-home orders aimed at containing the coronavirus outbreak by reducing human contact and shuttering schools, offices, and other non-essential businesses. While effective at containing the outbreak, the potential for adverse outcomes on suicide risk is high. That was a quote there. According to an article published in JAMA Psychiatry last month. The soaring unemployment rate and stock market losses caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, combined with millions of people quarantining at home alone, creates the, quote, perfect storm for an increased risk of suicide for many people, according to the JAMA article, which is led by Dr. Mark Reger, a suicide prevention researcher and chief of psychology services at VA Puget Sound Healthcare System. So that was the first article there. I got another one. This is from CBS. Coronavirus pandemic may lead to 75,000, quote, deaths of despair from suicide, drug and alcohol abuse, study says. It is from May 8th, 2020. COVID-19 has directly claimed tens of thousands of U.S. lives, but conditions stemming from the novel coronavirus, rampant unemployment, isolation, and uncertain future, and an uncertain future could lead to 75,000 deaths from drug or alcohol abuse and suicide, new research suggests. It says deaths from these causes are known as, quote, deaths of despair, and the COVID-19 pandemic may be accelerating conditions that lead to such deaths. And then there's another quote here. I don't know if I didn't highlight the whole thing. It says, quote, deaths of despair are tied to multiple factors like unemployment, fear and dread, and isolation. Prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, there were already an unprecedented number of deaths of despair. We wanted to estimate how this pandemic would change that number moving forward. I mean, there's so many articles about this. I don't want to run this video too long. Here's one from ABC 7 News. Suicides on the rise amid stay-at-home order, Bay Area medical professionals say. This is from May 21st, 2020. Walnut Creek, California. Doctors at John Muir Medical Center in Walnut Creek say they have seen more deaths by suicide during this quarantine period than deaths from the COVID-19 virus. Let that sink in. The head of the trauma in the department, Mike de Bois Blanc. I think originally this shelter-in-place order was put in place to flatten the curve and to make sure hospitals have the resources to take care of COVID patients. We have the current resources to do that, and our other community health is suffering. The numbers are unprecedented, he said. We've never seen numbers like this in such a short period of time. That was a quote. He said, here's another quote. Quote, I mean, we've seen a year's worth of suicide attempts in the last 4 weeks, end quote. Wow. a year's worth of suicide in the last 4 weeks. Casey Hansen has worked as a trauma nurse at John Muir Medical Center in Walnut Creek for almost 33 years. She is worried because not only are they seeing more suicide attempts, she says they are not able to save as many patients as usual. What I have seen recently, quote, I have never seen before, Hansen said. I've never seen so much intentional injury. The trauma team is speaking out because they want the community to be aware, for people to reach out and support each other, and for those who are suffering and know they can get help. John Muir has provided a statement to ABC7 late Thursday saying the organization as a whole is supportive of the shelter-in-place order in the Bay Area. And I won't get into all the rest of that. Here's another article. This is from KGUN9.com. I guess it is another ABC affiliate station. Suicide rates spike through COVID-19 pandemic, 79% with mental and physical illnesses. And here's a quote here, and I just highlighted for interesting purposes. 23, it's reporting 23 people took their life in the last couple of months, with a 79% having a confirmed mental illness of medical conditions for vulnerable populations, such as individuals living in poverty, families living in poverty with school-aged children, minority groups, people with chronic health conditions, and people who recently experienced unemployment, divorce, domestic violence, or child removal. So all in all, just very depressing times on so many levels, in so many ways, not just here in the US, but all across the globe. And it's just very heartbreaking. It's very saddening. I've been going through my own, struggles and troubles, losing my job at Amazon personally. I mean, there's actually news about that. I know I'm past the June 29th deadline, but there's some news about that. I'll do another video on that. And it's probably going to turn into a continuation of the series of all these crazy, absurd mass videos of what happened to me with my job at Amazon. So, it's been very hard on me, and I've been honestly a very depressed mess lately. And I'm just so fucking burned out with doing, DoorDash food delivery and all that crap. And even just driving gigs in general. The whole reason, it just frustrates me on such a deep level, because the thing that gets me the most is, I was doing so well moving forward in life. And, see, the thing is, after my dad lost that whole apartment back there, and I found this place, right away I got that job at Amazon, and partly because I wanted to just get away from that old life, being depressed, living in my dad's kitchen, going crazy with, lack of personal space and privacy and whatnot. And I was just trying to move on from that. I just wanted to create a whole new life for myself. So I got this place, my little top secret bunker shed. And, I still have to pay rent on this and all. And, it's, I had to get away from doing the driving gigs, Uber and all that stuff in general. So I just decided, I'm just going to go for Amazon. I'll just do another warehouse job like I've done before. And it was going great. There's a whole frustrating part of it. It was going so great because I was moving. Well, I wasn't getting raises yet, but I was moving up as far as being trained and, cross-trained in multiple departments. Ultimately including robotics. I was an actual robotics operator. I've talked about that and mentioned that in previous videos and live streams. And, I was starting to build quite a bit of job security within the company. And then mandatory suffocation became a thing. And those soggy masks that I was literally inhaling into my mouth, that's a whole nother video I did, or series of videos that I did. And it ruined everything. And now all this progress that I made paying down debt and moving forward in life, it's all gone down the drain. I'm behind on bills again. I'm a depressed wreck again. And yeah, that's been my own struggles with it. And yeah, I've been feeling really down, and yeah, I've been feeling really upset. And I've been debating if I wanted to mention this or not, but if you guys are familiar with Linkin Park's Mike Shinoda, he's been recently doing some quote like quarantine live streams where he's been basically sitting at home in his home studio, and he's been creating these instrumentals like live. These are like hour and a half long live streams, but he's creating music like on the fly live in front of an audience watching him like in his music studio in his house. And he put out this one, it was called a hybrid theory style demo, and it was just something that was supposed to be reminiscent of something from back in the day in hybrid theory. And I started listening to a few of those that he put out, but for some reason that one caught my attention. And the more I listened to it, these, I gotta say, really dark and morbid lyrics. I don't know if I want to say too much more about that. I'm actually going to leave a link down below. I'd love to release it on my channel, but I don't have the rights to do that technically. I did contact Mike Shinoda. I did find an actual like 310 phone number to send text messages to him to. It's literally on his I believe his Instagram page, on the front page of it, his official page. And I sent a message explaining everything that I wrote lyrics to your song, dude, basically. So I want to see if maybe I can hopefully turn my misery, into some kind of profit, profit off of this deep misery I've been suffering. It's just this is just a way for me to vent. Like if you, once you guys hear that, this is just kind of like my own demo I recorded on one of these Rock Band microphones. That I didn't even know this is a Rock Band microphone until after the fact. It's a Logitech USB microphone. But anyway, I went out to an empty parking lot late one night, and because I have two of these, I got another one at a thrift store recently for like $5, and I just started like screaming my lungs out to lyrics that I personally wrote. And the thing is, I've never written a song, I've never sung a song, I've never been a singer, and I don't know what came over me, but it turned. I think some people think it's a decent song, so I'll just leave it at that. Well, leave your thoughts about that below in the comments section. And you guys have been watching Network 126.